So this is me. My name is Travis. And this is my truck. Her name is Millennia. And this is a story about me wanting to go on a little adventure. Thanks for coming along for the ride. Canada is a beautiful country. I hope this film can demonstrate why. So we just arrived at the Crack in Killarney. This is the first planned stop of this trip and I am excited. Let's do this. Start of the Crack. Now I'll be honest, I didn't know what to expect when I started this journey. I didn't know where I was going really, or what I was doing. I just knew I was going to have a good time. And a good time I did have. Almost at the end. I am out of shape. Now I promise you there's not too many bad jokes in this film. Or silly dancing. I finally made it. Top of the first mountain. I definitely gained an addiction to climbing on top of big rocks. Because how can you not when you look at that view? Day 2. I still remember how cold the mist was coming off of Lake Superior. But hey, I like to drive with the windows down. And like getting shots of bridges. There are so many hidden gems in the world, and I definitely found one here with this hike. Planning goes a long way, I must say that. Here we are. 2 trails in 2 days. I'm excited. This is gonna be fun. And it definitely was fun. Reference the addiction I have for climbing on top of big rocks. Full disclosure, I was actually going the wrong way here. There we go, back on track. Keep climbing. Just about there. Another gorgeous view. So many more to come. back on the road. But first, a stop to see the world's largest cobra chicken. It was a long day of driving to my next destination, in dirt roads that never seemed to end. Darkness fell. I didn't think I was going to make it. But this was home for the night. We'll see you in the morning. 7 a.m. starting the trail. Hoping for a good day. This hike was a bit of a doozy, and it definitely tested me. But at least it was hard to get lost. Stairs might seem like a good idea, but it's basically like doing 1,000 squats. Yeah, I'm tired. Thanks, Junior Rangers. That sucked. This view was worth it, though. Don't worry, there's definitely more to come. May as well go the rest of the way. Oh, be careful. Don't fall. It's okay. I like living on the edge. The jokes don't get any better, I promise. But the views definitely do. Hang loose, but watch your step. One more for the records. After devouring some food, it was finally time to hit the road again to my next destination. I wonder where I'll sleep tonight. No, I didn't take a wrong turn, but this was probably a mistake. It just kept going, and going, and going. But it paid off, I think. Another fantastic day. We'll see you in the morning. big change of scenery here. We're out of Ontario, into Manitoba, and everything is flat. And I stopped to see a few local points of interest along my route. This thing was surprisingly difficult to walk on, especially with other people bouncing on it. But that was fun. What's next? The random things you see while traveling. I couldn't even begin to tell you what this is. But I got a drone shot of it anyway. Another hike? Why not? Let's do this. I think you know which one I'm going to take. Yes, that's right. I took the hard way. I am a glutton for punishment, apparently. And I'm pretty sure I just discovered the highest point in Manitoba. There's beauty in everything and everywhere, in their own way. And this place is no less beautiful. Another hill. Completely unnecessary to go up, but I felt like it. Sand everywhere. It's crazy. I never knew the prairies had so much. Why are you running, Travis? You're silly. And with this final viewpoint, it's time to move on to our next destination. Day 5. Everything is still quite flat, but still quite beautiful. There isn't much around to see, but I'm still having a time of my life. I'm heading due south to a place where I've heard you can see buffalo. I guess we'll see. I drive for what feels like hours on the southern Saskatchewan back roads, and I don't see much of anything other than a couple cows here and there. But I finally make it. Grasslands National Park. Three things I can say about Grasslands National Park. 1. Extremely remote. 2. A little less flat than the past couple days of traveling. And 3. Extremely warm. It was so hot, in fact, that my electronics would stop working after a while. But not before I got some really nice drone shots. And now I don't know who this Larson fellow was, but he picked a pretty nice area to make a home. I did manage to see some wild buffalo, but they were pretty far away, and I couldn't get any good shots. But that's it for here. On to the next area. More sand in the prairies. I'm not surprised anymore. But this was a lot of sand. And this is a lot of boots. The weird things you see while traveling. I can say without a doubt in my mind that this road was my favorite drive up until this point. Absolutely gorgeous here. It never seemed like it was going to end, and I never wanted it to. But obviously it would end eventually. And with the sun getting low, it was time to go.
So just like that, I'm in Alberta. Definitely the most interesting way I crossed a province boundary.
One final drive in the park, and I'd be out. Almost there. As I reach the end of the road, I reflect on the beauty I had seen that day and eagerly await the beauty still yet to come. I don't waste a lot of time getting to the mountains. So after seeing some strangely colored rocks, and a really big T-Rex, and a church apparently only for children, it was time to go.
Cloudy day here in BC mountains. I'm doing my first hike, Tent Ridge. It's about 10 kilometers. It's a little cloudy right now, but it's supposed to clear up. I can see some blue sky in the distance. Hoping for a good day, some nice shots.
This is what I've been waiting for. Hiking the Rocky Mountains. It begins here. I think there may have been an avalanche here. I'd best be careful. It's a tough climb, but don't give up. Almost there. Just a few more feet. When I crested that hill, I instantly fell in love. I mean, how could you not? Absolutely magnificent. I need more of this. Not at the summit yet, though. Keep going. Heading south through Kananaskis Park, I'm in awe. Everywhere I look, beauty. Truly God's country. And after a quick stop to replenish the essentials, it was time to go. after an amazing day with some beautiful scenery. I had to stop somewhere, so this is going to be camp for the night. Somewhere outside of Fernie, BC, I think. See you in the morning. Bright and early. Day 8. Route is set. Let's get going. When planning this trip, I purposely chose to use mostly back roads and stay off the highways as best I could. I wanted to see all the beauty this country has to offer. And I think I made some good decisions. But I think no matter where you go in the Rocky Mountains, you can find beauty. Just like that. Lake Louise is a very popular spot with tourists, and for good reason. It is beautiful. I've actually been here before, but I didn't do any hiking, and that's about to change. I'm glad I came here. This has definitely been the most popular hike so far. I've seen a lot of people, and even horses. And lots of nice views. Until next time. Day 9. Another day, another hike. It started out pretty flat, but that changes. Oh, does it ever change? The best thing about being on the trail first is you get the whole place to yourself. Told you it changes. I'm definitely huffing and puffing there. And definitely still huffing and puffing here. But the views you can get are worth all the pain. Just beautiful. We are so lucky to have a country like this. Time to head back down. Let's find a different route though.
Almost made it.
I should have brought my skis. I spend the rest of the day driving, stopping to take in the sights when they appear. And there's a few of them. I'm on the lookout for a place to spend the night. And I think I found a pretty good spot. Day 10, another day, another mountain. But I'm kind of taking the cheating way. Whistler's Peak overlooks the town of Jasper, among other things. And it's easy to see why so many people come here. But as beautiful as it is, I can't stay here all day. It's time to head down. I've finally made it to BC. And wouldn't you know it, it's raining. Typical BC. The boardwalks are slippery. I best watch my footing. Okay, you got me. Yeah, that's pretty cool. Big tree? They're all pretty big, but let's see. Low bridge. The rain never stops. But a little water never hurt anybody. Except maybe the Wicked Witch of the West. And after finding a moose that wanted to race, and a bear that didn't, I may have come into some trouble. Time to go back. It's gonna be a close one.
So that was obviously extremely stressful. I thought I was gonna lose all fuel for sure and be walking on the side of the road with my thumb in the air. Let's find somewhere to sleep.
A new day and a beautiful day. I unfortunately had to alter my plans for this day. That incident last night was not an isolated incident. Higher than normal water levels has forced me to change my plan entirely. So today is just a travel day. But any day driving through British Columbia is a good day. Next stop, Vancouver Island. The first stop on Vancouver Island takes me to Butchart Gardens. An absolute stunning display of everything flowers. And fountains. Lots of fountains. Lonely Doug is a Douglas fir tree that was left after harvesting operations in the area, and it's become a bit of a legend. So I came to go look at it. And I'm never disappointed. Heading up North Island, and unfortunately, a lot of the places I wanted to see are closed. But I press on anyway. I stopped to see some goats eating grass on top of a house. Don't see that every day. There's apparently a shipwreck out this way. I wonder how close I can get. Well, it looks like that's as close as I can get. At least I can get some photos. I keep heading north, then I take a break, and it doesn't matter where I stop. Everything is beautiful. And as I stop for the night, I can't help but wonder what amazing things I will find in the morning. And as I keep heading north, I find the world's largest burl. Interesting. Port Hardy is the most northern town on Vancouver Island, and I'm trying to get on the ferry north. But if I can't make it, I've got other plans. Fingers crossed though. Waiting, waiting, waiting. Success! I have made it on board. Once in a while, it's nice to travel and not be driving, so I take in the scenery as best I can. There's lots to look at. It's time to get comfy and enjoy the ride. It's gonna be a long one. And hey, at least it's not raining. The boat was driving all night, and I didn't get much sleep. On top of that, it's raining. But at least I got coffee. And beautiful views. I spend most of my time on the ship outside, in the rain, trying to look for whales. I wasn't very successful. After 20 hours at sea, we finally come into port. That was a nice ride. I'd do it again. But right now, I got places to be. Let's go. Still raining. Sometimes you just gotta stop and admire the truck. You know, 'cause I wouldn't be here without her. So this is where I'll be for the night. Hopefully it's not raining tomorrow. Big plans. Day 16, still raining. BC never lets you down. Back on dirt roads. Hopefully, there's no dead ends. There would be a lot of dead ends if someone hadn't cut these trees down. I did not bring a chainsaw with me, This is reminding me that I will next time. This city gave me the creeps. A perfect city, nobody here, but it looks like it was just used yesterday. The grass is mowed. Wood piled like it's going to be used tomorrow. At least the houses are unlocked so I can look around. The carpet is even vacuumed. Crazy place. Kitsu was apparently a mining town that was established in 1979, but when the price of the ore dropped, the people fled the town 18 months later after it was established. The town was purchased in 2004 by an American businessman and has spent millions updating it and renovating it. To this day, it remains unfinished, and the future of Kitsu remains unknown. Back on the main roads, and in the sun for the first time in a couple days. It's nice. Passing by a lovely field of burnt and uncooked marshmallows, and perfectly browned ones. This will be home for the night, and I couldn't ask for a nicer place. See you in the morning. A beautiful morning, but I better get the coffee ready. You shouldn't be in a hurry when you're traveling. Sometimes it's nice to take it easy and slow down and reflect where you are in life. I really like this place. Maybe I'll stay here all day. Just kidding. I gotta get going. Well, you heard him. Let's go. My day starts out on pavement, but quickly turns to gravel. And even quicker so, turns to dirt. I think this is a perfect opportunity to get my wings out. Is it me, or does it feel like we're watching an ad for a Toyota? No? Just me? Okay, well, here's a nice view. See? I told you I like recording bridges. From here, I head to the town of Williams Lake for supplies, and once there, heading south further still. Every so often, you come across a place that you'll never forget. For me, that was this place. I will never forget the beauty that I saw here. I'm glad that I can share it with you. Winding dirt roads next to steep cliffs. Beauty in every direction. This land is magical. The sun's getting real low. I need to find camp soon. After a 500-meter vertical climb, I finally found my camp at the top of a cliff, and I couldn't be more happy. I will never forget this spot. This is the most beautiful spot in the world. And I thank you. It's time to go. There's beauty to be found. The town of Lillooet. I would see it again tomorrow. No one around for miles. It almost makes you feel like this is all yours. Grizzly bears. I better be careful. At least I know I'm going the right way. It never really does get old. A second reminder that I should have had a chainsaw. If that looks like I'm driving uphill, that's because it is. You'll see. I've never driven up a mountain before. That was really cool. One last thing before I leave this mountain. I don't know if it's a thing, but I'm making it a thing. There we go. I'd say driving up a mountain was a once-in-a-lifetime experience. How am I ever going to top that again? Well, I guess driving up a second mountain. That'll pretty much do it. Come on, girl, you can do it. Those rocks are loose. She was struggling a little bit. You got this. You got this. I knew you could do it. What a great team we make. Another mountain conquered. What's the next one? Even the views going down are amazing. Okay, time for a break. Gotta feed the beast. And the other beast. It would be a few more hours of easy to moderate trail riding before I found my camp. And then there was a random cabin in the woods. I didn't quite know what to make of it. I don't think I'd live here. Another amazing day. I'm so thankful for everything in my life that has led me to this point. This can't get any better. Well, day 19, and we're back to rain. I'm thankful we had a few days of sun. This day was mostly a travel day, high speed on pavement. I would continue to head south as I wanted to start the next day's events as early in the morning as possible. found myself waiting at a traffic incident for many hours with no other way around, so I just decided to wait. These roads can be dangerous. I should probably stop soon. I found a nice little spot, nestled just off the road. This would be perfect for the night. An uneventful day, but a day nonetheless. I'm just glad it's not raining. The Whipsaw Trail is a pretty famous trail in southern BC. There's easy routes and there's hard routes. And there are some very unavoidable routes. Since it's just me, I'm not going to take any liberties with my truck. We're going to play it easy. Yeah, I don't know how deep that is. Pretty soupy. We got some tire lift. She needed a bath anyway.
All that off-roading in Ontario has paid off. I know exactly what I'm doing. In fact, I don't think anyone can do better. Whoa, Jesus!
I told you the jokes wouldn't get any better.
This is how you know you're on a trail in BC. Usually they're lucky, but this works.
While some of these unavoidable roads aren't too difficult, not having a locker in my axle is a huge issue. Try it again. And again. And again. One more time. Good job. Now that I'm at the top, the rest should be easy, right? I don't know who you are, Jeff, but rest easy. I thought it best to remove all of the mud that I acquired on the trail. Also, so I can do a super cool slow-mo hero shot. But it would probably be a lot cooler if I didn't look like a homeless person. Nah, it's still cool. Alright, enough of that. Back to the road. I traveled east through the town of Osoyoos, Greenwood, Castlegar, and Nelson. And taking more bridge shots, obviously. I eventually made it to the area of Caslow. I found a campsite on a map that I thought would make a really good place for the night, but I went really out of my way to get there. Up a mountain, at night, single track. Let's hope it's worth it. We'll see. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say it was worth it. Now to get down though. It took a couple hours, but I made it to the first hike. This hike was no joke. It went vertical right from the beginning and didn't stop going vertical until the very end. It was tough. But I loved every minute of it. It's just a shame that it was foggy at the top. Didn't get much of a view. But at least I made it to the end. This view, about halfway down, will have to do. Obviously, there's another hike tomorrow. So time to get some kilometers down and find a place for the night. This spot just might do. It was a pretty popular spot. The whole area was full of campers. I think everyone had the same idea as me. Wakey wakey, bright and early. Day 22. All of the plants were still covered in frost. The sun hadn't touched anything yet. These glacial pools were beautiful. Everything was so beautiful. And it was a very cold morning. Slow and steady. You did it. That's another win. That right there, ladies and gentlemen, that face, that is the face of victory. And probably a bit of tiredness too. Good job. I was feeling pretty good. I finished that hike pretty early, and I was getting kind of cocky and thought I could do the next one as well. 2 in a day. So that's what I did. This one was no joke. Constant uphill. An extremely confusing route. The wind. It was relentless. I felt like my legs were going to give out at any moment. But I knew it was going to be worth it. It's always worth it. Come on, Travis, you can do it. Own your mistake. The summit's up there somewhere. You'll make it. You finally made it, Travis. What took you so long? I told you the view is always worth it. I'm finally at the bottom, and I've never been so happy to see my truck. It's time to eat some food and re-energize. Got another big day tomorrow. But being under the watchful eye of the three sisters makes it so much better. See you bright and early. Are you ready, Travis? You better be. I've been pushing myself pretty hard. This one's gonna be tough. Don't look back. Please excuse the lion hair. I don't know where that came from. This reminds me of the first hike in the Rockies. It's fitting it should seem like the last one too. Don't fall. I can see the top. Keep pushing, just a little harder. You can do it. You made it to the top. Good job. Take a break. You've earned it.
So after all the things that I've done on this trip, climbing up mountain peaks, driving up mountain peaks, crossing waterways, driving through valleys, off-road, on-road, I think it's about time I let these country roads take me home.
saw your move, the night would pass, my darling, soon. The wild dogs bark, but wait, stand still, they'll chase you down, but wouldn't kill. The grey seems grayer in your eyes, the bright shade of your bluest light. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. From day to day, I see it more up in the clouds, down on your floor. How fleeting was what we once had. Our tears, the rain, your heavy blood. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Everything's fine. Everything's perfect. Everything's fine. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine. You say everything, everything, everything's just perfect. Everything, everything, everything's fine.
I made it.
another day, to live another fairy tale. It's another night to drink and then forget.